right, everyone, this is Tim and Dom with NFL Talk from across the pond and back. The season has started. It's underway. We got the first week almost in the books. We got the Baltimore Ravens and the Las Vegas Raiders tonight. So we're going to cover that game next week. But you know what? It was an exciting weekend, Dom. Football is back. For Giant fans, I'm not saying it was an exciting weekend, but from the perspective of the States, you know, we've been waiting for this for I don't know how long. I mean, what was the pulse in the UK?
Pulse in the UK. I'm starting to come across hidden NFL fans all over the place. So yeah, I think that you know a lot of people were excited. Obviously, it's not the main sport over here, but there is a hardcore group now, and my world is expanding, and a lot of excitement, including one guy plays European football with my brother, who I saw trying to get his newborn baby son or to sleep whilst trying to watch the Jets game, because he's clearly a Jets fan, on his phone.
Oh my God. We all know that, especially if you had young kids like Dom and I've had, or Dom still has. Yeah, that's not going to work.
No, having said that though, I stupidly, because the Giants at that point hadn't kicked off, said, hey, why don't you just put the game on? He'll be asleep in no time because he just needs to watch your offense. And then disaster struck a few hours later.
Yeah, disaster did strike. But you know what? We're not going to start with the Giants.
We're not going to start there. I'd rather not go there at all.
And well, we're going to have to go there because we are Giant fans. But we're going to not do every single game. But there's a couple of games I want to highlight. And the first game I think is of interest because it impacts the Giants. Is the Philadelphia Eagles and the Atlanta Falcons 32-6. The Eagles crushed the Falcons. Now, I had a feeling the Falcons were going to be bad this year, but I didn't think they were going to be this bad. And to get beat, and I know it's game one, but to get beat by the Eagles, I mean, there's just something wrong with that.
Do you know what? I think you just nailed my thoughts on the Falcons. I thought they were going to be bad this year, but not that bad. Literally, if you'd asked me for a one-sentence summary on the Falcons, would have been it. Yeah, look, fair play. Look, the Eagles played a really good game. That Falcons offense never got going, which is a surprise with Smith as their head coach. You'd have thought they would be. I think the big concern I would have coming out is that O-line is going to get Matt Ryan killed, like literally killed.
Yeah.
I spoke about it with Burrow a few weeks ago. I sent you a message saying that O-line got, when we signed Price, that O-line got him killed last year, and Matt Ryan could be getting killed this year by his O-line.
He was sacked 3 times, and he had 9 quarterback hits against him. So it wasn't terrible. It wasn't terrible. It wasn't giant terrible. But Ryan was 21 for 35 for 164. And like I said, and I laugh because the object of Giant fans' obsession were twofold in this game: Devontae Smith and Kyle Pitts. One performed and led his teams in receptions. One did not probably live up to the expectation and the hype. And I tried to warn people about Kyle Pitts, but nobody ever listens to me. I know it's one game, but you can't anoint this guy the greatest tight end that ever walked the earth, especially with Gronkowski still playing. He's big. He is a big kid. To me, he's a kind of a quasi wide receiver / tight end. His blocking, he's never really blocked. And I said it before, teams are going to scheme against him.
Lost you.
What's that? You lost me? Dumb? Oh, dumb. Oh, dumb. Oh, Dom. We lost Dom. Let's see if we can get Dom back here. He was here for a minute and now he's gone. We know it wouldn't be our technical difficulty here. Dom, are you back?
I'm back. Yeah. I don't seem to have had an issue. I think it might have been your end, but I'm here.
Okay. I don't know what's going on here. I got a full signal, but you know what? I was talking about how we kind of talked about Kyle Pitts for a while now, and I mentioned even before the draft that anointing him the greatest tight end ever was probably not going to be is probably not going to happen because you know what? We also still have Gronkowski, but that teams in the NFL were going to scheme against him because in my mind, he's a quasi tight end wide receiver, kind of in the mold of Evan Ingram. And I know he's supposed to revolutionize the position, but I don't see it. And as a Giant fan, it hurt to watch Devontae Smith catch that touchdown.
Well, it hurt me particularly to watch Devontae Smith catch that touchdown because I not necessarily. I've always said it was a feeling with him. There's nothing wrong with him. You can see he has ability coming out of college. You can see why people rated him. I just had a feeling, nothing more. It was one of those things I couldn't explain. I think with Pitts, I think he will statistically put up numbers this season. I know he didn't have the greatest game, but I think while I think you're right, people are going to scheme against him and go in coverage against him, I think he is going to be the number one target for Matt Ryan this year, and he'll probably put up numbers. Do I think that makes him the greatest tight end of all time? No, I don't think it will be. And I think expectation was always going to be his biggest issue, coming into a Falcons team that isn't great. I still think he will be a good player.
Well, I'm not saying he's not going to be. I'm not saying he's not going to be a good player. But no. I'm not saying that he is going to be he's not going to be the Mike Ditka of this generation or the Dick Butkus of this generation. And he's going to or Lawrence Taylor and revolutionize the tight end position.
No, I don't think so either. I never thought that, but I always thought he was going to be a good player. Probably a very good player. And as you say, it's one game, and the Falcons, it just did nothing work for them. Right, it was that bad for them. I mean, you don't lose by that score to the Eagles and think you've had a good game. Who had the Eagles as the only team winning in the NFC East this weekend? I'm not sure many would have, but. Let's see them against better opposition. But you've got to give the Eagles credit. They deservedly topped the East after one game. They deservedly won that game.
Speaking of really good players, one of my favorite players, Kyler Murray.
I thought you was going to say if you come out of retirement.
Well, if I came out of retirement, I'd be my favorite player twice. Arizona, Tennessee, Arizona 38-13. Kyler Murray 21 to 32, 289, 4 touchdowns and an interception. I actually sent you a picture of a video of a play where he is actually running backwards, does a little pirouette, throws the ball 15 yards down the field. Hopkins catches it. 2 Tennessee Titan players collide. The play is over. It looks like a cartoon. Both Tennessee Titan players are laying on the ground. And Kyler Murray's just walking away. I was like, he's a pinball. He is literally a pin. This is why I wanted him for the Giants so much. I know you aren't high on the Cardinals. I think they beat a good Tennessee team. They held a quality running back in Derrick Henry to 17 carries for 58 yards. They limited the wonderful Ryan Tannehill. Tennessee, to me, also has a good defense. I mean, what did you think of this game, Dom?
Yeah, I'm going to double down on where I was last week. I think that the Cardinals do have a good team, but I just don't fancy them to have the season that they need to have to keep Cliff Kingsbury in a job. I think the Titans actually was the perfect game for them this week. I think Kyler Murray is a phenomenal player. I've always said it. We've always agreed on that. I think he really is. And I was waiting for you to eulogize on that play because it was some play and he had some game. And he does have the receivers there this year, but I just feel that there's something wrong in that organization that if they start to lose 1 or 2 games, it will start to rapidly go downhill. Something just appears wrong from the outside between the players and that the coaching staff and the owner. Something's not quite right. I don't know why. It just doesn't feel right to me. And I think when that starts to go wrong, it could go wrong. What I was impressed with, though, we're talking about Kyler Murray and some of those offensive plays. Actually, their defense was really, really good. The offense didn't surprise me against the Titans. I don't actually like the Titans' defense. And if they have a shocking year, I'm going to be absolutely fuming because I said they would last year and they didn't. And so I rode back from the edge this year a little bit. But I thought it was the perfect game for them. I think let's see them in 2 or 3 weeks' time. But if they put that up, if they're still putting those performances up in week 4 or 5, then I will have to start saying I was wrong. But at the moment, I'm not there yet. But Kyler Murray, fair play, well done. Defense, well done.
Isaiah Simmons, 7 tackles, an interception, 2 pass defenses.
I think he's going to be really good this year, by the way.
Chandler Jones, 5 sacks. 5 sacks.
Yeah, I mean, their edge rush was impressive. I was going to say, because it didn't Watt get a couple as well?
No, Watt he got a couple tackles for loss.
I thought he got two. Oh, that's sorry. That was my fault. That was a Steelers Watt, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was it. That was the other one. Yeah. But I mean,
Watt with them in my defense.
You just got the right family, just the wrong brother.
So. They've got more Watts in the light bulb factory.
But
didn't even need a button for that.
There you go. Give it to you again.
That's what she said.
Let's jump into another game here, which I found of interest. And that game is going to be our favorite quarterback. 38-3, Saints over, discount double check. Jameis Winston, 5 touchdown passes. Outplays Aaron Rodgers, man. I mean, I thought the Saints would look good coming in, and I think we've had this conversation multiple times. I said if Jameis Winston could ever figure out how to throw the ball away, that he would probably be deadly in this offense. He only threw the ball 20 times. 14 completions, 148, 5 touchdowns. And the defense played well against Green Bay. I was a little leery of the Saints defense. And again, I know it's only week 1, but Dom, I mean, Mr. I never met an interception I didn't like. Outduels the MVP, multiple MVPs, Super Bowl MVP, Super Bowl winner, Aaron Rodgers. I mean, damn, really?
I mean, is it Icky in Jacksonville as well now? Because obviously that's where he
might be. He might not like Jacksonville. That's it.
I imagine it was probably sticky, or is it too, or is the weather not like that?
No, it is. It is like that in Jacksonville. Still.
I was going to say, I thought it must be by now. Yeah, it's still, but yeah. I mean, look, you're exactly right. That's what we've always said about Jameis. The guy can play. The question is, has he learned from Drew Brees how to look after that ball better and make better decisions? He was checking down the ball yesterday. When he had to, okay, he didn't have that many throws and therefore not many checkdowns, but five TDs, no interceptions. The guy's got an arm. The guy can play, and he's playing behind an O-line that will give him time to make those throws. And I actually really loved that 50-odd yard throw he threw for that touchdown. I just thought that was prime Jameis. And I think the Saints were a bit of a unknown this year. I thought probably somewhere around 500, and I still probably think that's going to be it. But I thought, with the difficult start they have to the season, no Michael Thomas, not playing at home, not training at home, it could be difficult. But I wonder whether that had a galvanizing effect on them. But I think it's too early for me on the other side with the Packers to worry overly. But the Saints,
like we always say, it's week 1. It's week 1.
It's week 1. Exactly that.
And I keep saying that, but I do want to toot my own horn a little bit. There was a team out there. There was a divisional team that
Sorry, really quick, actually. One question.
Sure.
Do you? What do you think this is for Taysom Hill?
Jameis is going to revert to Jameis. Hill's going to play. Jameis is going to put up a stinker, and he's going to run a stretch where, like he did in Tampa, where he's going to throw like 5 interceptions in a row. So I mean, I like I said, I like to pretend I'm a genius for this week, so don't bring up a question that's going to make us look stupid next week when he goes 12 for 24 and 18 interceptions.
Yeah, I mean, he's not going to keep that sort of level of performance up, but I think that the Saints should be rolling with Jameis. I think I said it a few weeks ago. If I didn't, I meant to. I genuinely meant to, as opposed to hindsight. But I've just never been Taysom Hill fan. I hope for the Saints' sake that Jameis is the man, and
Jameis is the real deal. But I want to toot my own horn here. There was a team in the AFC East that I said outside of Buffalo would be fighting for the Bills for that division, and you don't like them. And, somebody waddled into the end zone for a 60-yard touchdown reception in his first game, 17-16 over Chris's favorite team, the Patriots. We're talking, of course, the Miami Dolphins. Not a greatly executed game. Not a good. I watched it. Not a great game to watch. I mean, it was kind of sloppily played. But Tua outduels Mac Jones, who was 29 for 39 for 281 and a touchdown. And you had Harris running for over 100 for, of course, the venerable Patriots. I mean, again, I'm not sitting there saying this is going to be the end all be all that the Miami's rolling, but It's you beat an interdivisional team your first week. You already got a leg up on the division.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever said that I didn't like Tua. I think I've always liked Tua. I just have.
You said you didn't like the Dolphins.
Concerns about Dolphins. Yeah. I didn't not like the Dolphins, but I just thought that for me they were overhyped. I know, and I'm still going to stick with the fact I think the Pats, funny enough, will come second in that division. Now, initially, I was thinking whoever wins this game, they're probably going to get that leg up and they're going to take the division. But I was thinking on this this evening, funny enough. And it sort of occurred to me, I thought, that was a really, really close game in a game where the Pats have made a lot of changes to their team, more so than the Dolphins. And yes, they were at home, but they run the Dolphins close. They're never normally that great in September. And I just think they're going to get better as the year goes on rather than worse, as long as Mac Jones is somewhere sort of, basically as long as he doesn't stink, they should be fine. And Bill Belichick never does well in September. So I'm going to stay where I am, but that's a really good win for the Dolphins and Brian Flores, and does really give them a chance. I think had they lost that, they might have been really struggling for catch-up. But I'm going to stick with where I was, that the Pats will come second in that division. Well,
you know what? We're going to keep. We're doing rapid fire here today because we got a lot of games to get through. I wanted to talk about. We're not going to get to the Giant game just yet. I'm crescendoing up to the Giant game because I figure we'll both have a lot to say about that one. That just do you know what? Just Dom, do me a favor. Don't throw the red flag because the play has already been reviewed. I wanted.
How did you know I was going to make that reference?
I knew it was coming because we've done 20 episodes now, so I knew that was coming. I want to talk about the new king of the NFL, the new Joe Namath. 28 of 51, 333 yards, 3 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. Trevor Lawrence loses to the Houston Texans, 37-21. I have some concerns about Urban Meyer and his play calling. But I'm going to tell you this. I watched that entire game. And Trevor Lawrence went through a spurt where he completed like 9 in a row. Then he was like 1 for 8. And then it just seemed like he flipped the switch. That guy has one of the best deep passes that I have seen in the NFL in 20 years. And he just, his fluidity, his motion, the spiral. Again, another play that I sent you. It was just amazing. That one play I sent you, that he, as a rookie, A, could make that play, but B, just the way that ball came out, just the way the ball comes out of his hand. I remember him in college at Clemson, but it's impressive.
I thought that, he can't have been the best deep throw you've seen in 20 years. That's Daniel Jones. He's the best deep throw passer in the league. He threw three last year.
13, actually.
As a result, his accuracy was 66%, and it's 20% better than everyone else. Stats may have been slightly made up. Now I've finished being facetious.
Here at NFL Talk does not have the same opinions that Dom has in reference to his statistical data.
But now I've finished being facetious. Yeah, look, I think he had the archetypal rookie game, right? You saw the game.
Yeah.
I've only seen the highlights. But yeah, he looked good in spurts. He looked like a rookie in spurts. I think he's in a team that isn't going to be great this year. I think it's a team that is not going to be anywhere near as bad as last year. I think they've made some good moves in the offseason. But when you're not on the greatest team, it can be a struggle. At times, and that's what we're going to see. But yeah, I think there's no reason to think he's not going to be one of the top quarterbacks in this league, and that good times will come to Jacksonville as long as he's there at some stage.
Now, I do think it's.
I don't know what your views were. If you had more views on that.
Yeah, I think it's a little screwy. I think it's a little screwy, the play calling of Urban Meyer. And there has been rumblings out of Jacksonville that Urban Meyer is rubbing people the wrong way, that he takes losses hard even in preseason, that he's kind of pushing away some of the coaching staff. And I worry that the maturation of Dan Jones, of Trevor Lawrence may be hindered a little bit by having a college head coach being his first time, job in the NFL. Some of the play calling to me with with Meyer was just kind of, I'll say weird at best. I didn't think you would want to take your prize rookie and let him throw 51 times in his debut. I mean, they ran the ball 16 times, and one of those times was by Trevor. So, I mean, if you're looking to get your rookie killed, this was a game to do it, because I just don't understand the philosophy.
Or you send him to Cincinnati and put him behind that O-line.
Which actually did not play poorly, though. We'll get to that.
They did not, and they won.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, they gave away a lot of penalties in that game as well, right? I mean, a lot of people are saying, and it's something I don't necessarily buy into, because I think Urban Meyer must have known it coming in, is that how's he going to handle it when they lose, because he's used to winning. But it is what you're exactly right. It is the rumors you hear, and that would be worrying, because he must have known coming in he's not going to be successful straight away. At least
you had to
in college. I mean, that should have been a no-brainer, and he's a smart man. You know, but the penalties were a bit of a worry from my perspective, looking at that team, and that's something they need to sort out if they're going to win games this year.
Yeah, I mean, it's you know, it's just crazy though. I mean, but I don't want to dwell on that game too much, because I do want to.
Sorry, what was your view on the Texans? Because everyone's got them as the 30. They may as well be the 53rd ranked team in a 32-team league. The way people
honestly, I still think they're a bad team. I still think Tyrod Taylor is not going to go anywhere. They just beat up on a worse team.
Yeah, I mean, I don't necessarily think that the Jacksonville Jaguars are a worse team than the Texans. I think what it was a difference between a quarterback that at least has some league experience and what hasn't, from the bits I saw of the game anyway. Right.
I mean, it's you know, it's I don't know. Again, it's one of those games, and it is what it is. I mean, I don't know. I can't judge. Like I said, I really can't judge the Titans off of that game.
Mostly because they weren't playing, but how about the Texans?
Oh, the Texans. Sorry, I'm actually texting somebody because something's going on upstairs. I'm right. What's going on with the banging? That's never a good sign when you hear people banging upstairs. But I want to get into the Giant game. I want to get into the Giant game here because we are Giant fans, tried and true. And, well, you know, the Giants, as a Giant fan, I mean, Dom, how does your head coach, maybe you can explain this to me because I heard the Joe Judge excuse. How does your head coach not know or have a brain fart to the point that he throws the red flag on a scoring play when everyone knows Football 101 that all scoring plays are reviewed, and then he throws it after the extra point is kicked? What? And this is a guy that preaches discipline. We're and this is supposed to be a guy that's a teacher and is so smart. Well, he made right now that may probably go down as one of the most boneheaded plays by head coach this entire season, and it's only week 1. Explain it to me.
I can't
explain it to me, Dom. Come on, Dom. Come on, you got it, man.
I can't explain. I mean, it was dumb beyond belief to do that. I mean, ultimately, it doesn't matter because we didn't need that timeout. But yeah, it was daft, and he doesn't set the example. You know, and you know, he's a coach that preaches about mistakes, and when you make mistakes, you go and run laps. You know, but ultimately, you know, I suppose my psyche is that people do make mistakes, and that actually what you do is you learn from those mistakes. And
run a lap.
You know, but if you're going to do it the way he does it, then you're going to have to own that mistake, and it ain't going to help in the dressing room, is it, really?
No, I mean, but Dom, and his excuse was, and I love it.
His excuse was ridiculous.
He wanted to get the attention of the referee because he did not get an explanation of why the play wasn't overturned.
If you wanted the attention of the referee, why didn't he sort of start, you know, jumping up and down and waving his arms?
Why didn't he just run onto the field like other coaches do?
Or go and try and get a hold of someone else that, you know, can go, I want to speak. You know, it was ridiculous, absolutely mental. It beggars belief, like genuinely beggars belief.
Oh my God! I mean,
like when Kyler Murray throws the other day, except that was the other way around, where that was just exceptional as opposed to ridiculous.
And let's talk about the 4,960-foot elephant or pound elephant in the room here. Daniel Jones.
He's bulked up. Has he bulked up that much this year?
He bulked up 8 pounds last year, and I think 6 pounds this year. So by my math, he's bulked up 9,478 pounds. He makes this. He's maddening. He makes the same mistakes, and I love it because fans that are defending him were, especially on the fumble, were like, "Well, he was going for the extra yards." No, he wasn't. He was falling down. And he had both hands around the ball. How do you fall face forward with both hands around the ball and still fumble? Explain that one to me.
I don't know, but he's good at falling over, in fairness.
At least he didn't trip.
Yeah, I mean, it was in some ways unfortunate, right? Because he's a player with a reputation for fumbling, and rightfully so, because it's 30 times now in.
And he was a fumbler in college.
And he hasn't even had 2 full years because he hasn't managed to play every game because of injury / Eli player, starting, and he's still at 30 fumbles. That's a heck of a lot. And there's no defending it. As you say, he has a history from college. In some ways, I feel for him in that example. That was his one fumble of the game, but it was a damn costly one. We were well inside the 20 as well.
Yeah.
At that point you go and score a touchdown there, you're well in the game. So it was a really poor place to lose the ball, and a dumbfounding way to lose the ball, as you say, with the way he's falling with that ball in his hands. But yeah, look, there wasn't a lot of positives to say about it. I think the only positive you could say about it was we were all worried about the O-line coming into the game, and it wasn't.
And the O-line played well. and I have another. And
against an experienced edge rush as well. To be fair.
Yes, exactly. Well, Von Miller abused Nate Solder on that one sack. I mean, it's like Nate wasn't even there. But I'm not picking on Daniel Jones. But I got to bring up one more point. 20-7. We're driving 4th and whatever it was. Giants go for it instead of kicking the field goal. I would have kicked the field goal because of the fact you needed. I figured you then you're at 20-10, and if you have a defense that you think you're going to have, you're going to need 2 scores anyways. So get the defense back on the field and try to stop somebody. Daniel Jones, my wife said it best on that play. The camera pans to Daniel Jones's face, and my wife goes, "You know what he looks like?" And I said, "What?" She goes, "He looks like you ever seen the expression of a kid's face when he's in an amusement park and he loses his parents?" He goes, "That's the look Daniel Jones had on his face." And I even said the same thing. Yes, you're right. It does. It looks like he's petrified, that he doesn't want to be in that 4th and 3 situation, helping his team drive for the win, or not drive for the win, drive for a score to keep the game in. He just looked like he was scared.
Yeah, I don't think anyone has faith in him in those situations. I think you said it before. When Eli Manning, and it's wrong to compare Jones to Manning, but obviously he's Manning's predecessor, so it's a natural thing to do. And Manning's a 2-time Super Bowl winner, and Jones is a 2-time tripper over. Sorry, that was harsh on Jones, in fairness. But you see what I'm getting at here.
He's a 1-time tripper over.
Faith in Manning to make that play, and I just think that people don't have faith in Jones to make that play, and I think it's starting to rub off on Jones, and that's a concern because he has to be good this season with those weapons, which we barely hit all game, by the way. The Darius Slayton had not Darius Slayton. Shepard had Sterling Shepard had an amazing. Well,
game.
I did mean Shepard. That was my fault. But yeah, Shepard had a nice game. But yeah, it's basically for me, he's got to week 6. But if we're not, we could be well out of it by week 6 if we play like that every week. And by well out of it, I mean we are out of it by week 6 if we keep playing like that, and he keeps playing like that. The only plus side is the O-line did do better. You like to hope the defense isn't going to be that bad. Again, that was a significant drop off from last year, which you hope is a blip. And you'd hope that over time you're going to start seeing better from Golladay and Barkley will get back healthy, et cetera, et cetera. So there are sort of lights at the end of a tunnel, but that wasn't a good start.
No, the O-line played well. I mean, the Giants got the garbage touchdown at the end, and I said this before, and I'm going to say it again because I'm bashing Joe Judge. You're down by 21 points with under 3 minutes left. There's no 21-point touchdown. There's no way you're going to get a touchdown I mean, just to win the game with 3 minutes left. And Darius Slayton took a shot to the back towards the end of the game. That wasn't an illegal hit. It was just the coach put him in that situation to take that hit because of the fact that he wants to score a garbage touchdown and make the score 27-13 instead of 27-6. I mean, and the other thing I want to talk about, just briefly touch on is, and I said this a million times, and I said this for weeks now, the Giants have no edge. And I said it even during my last couple shows, it's going to be off tackle left, off tackle right, off tackle left for like 2-3 quarters, and then they're going to punch it in the middle. And that's exactly what Shermer did. And then Melvin Ingram rips that one off for 70 after he was setting up the Giants all game long, off tackle left, off tackle right, off tackle right, off tackle left.
I didn't see the whole game because of the time zone difference. So, I mean, I only saw the Ingram run on the highlights afterwards. But yeah, all first half, that's exactly what they did. And it reminded me, and I'm going to lose the American audience here for a second, but the British audience will appreciate this. It reminded me of Jimmy Anderson bowling in cricket for England. He whacks 12-13, going away from the batsman, swinging away, sort of like a baseball pitch, away from the hitter. And then he goes one bang down the middle, and they go and try and chase it wide and miss it. And that's exactly what that reminded me of. I don't know what the baseball equivalent is, whether you can do that, but I imagine it's fairly similar where the ball curls away. But, they played us like a fiddle. It wasn't fun. And it was painful to watch the highlights because I knew I was recording this tonight. But I knew the score. And having said that, though, I'm blaming you because when I stopped watching, we were still well in the game, by the way. So,
you should blame yourself because you turned it off and screwed everything up. It's your fault then. But you know what? We have a chance to get right next week against Washington. And we're going to talk about the Washington against the Chargers game. Chargers took that game 20-16. Another one of my players who I love, who Dom hates this year, is the Duck. 21 of 47, 337, a touchdown and an interception.
Now you're just making shit up.
You said that Herbert was not going to play as well as you had doubts about Herbert and the Chargers. You've said that. You've said that many times. Go back and listen.
No. Come on now. No, what I said, and I'm going to repeat it again now. I said I was wrong about Herbert coming into the league. A lot of people at the moment are having the Chargers to a level I don't think they will be. I think they can be a playoff team, but I think they're a one-and-done playoff team, and that's their level this year. I think this is one season too early for them, but I do think they're a good team, and I do think he's a good quarterback. The question is, can he repeat last year? Because that was exceptional, but I still think he'll be good.
You think he's a good quarterback? I'm saying he's repeating. I'm telling you right now, book it.
If he does, really fair play, by the way. But I don't think his drop-off will be too huge. I think at worst, his drop-off will be small from last year.
And the interception, because I was watching this game too. I love having the NFL Sunday ticket, where you can get all the games. He just trusted his ability too much and enforced it into the defense.
Yeah. It's not a mistake you're going to see often for him.
No. Ryan Fitzpatrick goes down with a hip injury. He could be out 6 to 8 weeks, if not the entire season. Antonio Gibson, their running back, has got a banged up shoulder. They did not come out of this. They did not come out of this game healthy, so it's good for the Giants. Their front seven and their defense still played well enough in this game, and I think they're going to give the Giants fits. But with the rookie, not the
Fitzpatrick,
without Fitzpatrick, I mean, do you think? What do you think? Well, you know what? And I don't like doing previews now, but we probably should do a preview now. What do you think? Do you think
it's a Thursday night game, right?
Yeah, it's a Thursday night game. So I was just thinking that. What do you think? Short week. What do you think about this game and the Giants with the Skins? Didn't say that with the Washington football team. Do you think they can get right with going against what's his name, Tyler Heineke, whatever his name is?
Yeah. So this is my what a shame they picked up a whole load of injuries face just before they play our team.
Well, luckily you can see. Luckily you can see that. Luckily you can see that on the podcast.
Yeah, for those, I was going to explain what I did, which was the biggest, cheesiest grin. Look, A, you don't want to see players hurt. No. Secondly, I don't think we can exactly be crowing about it after the performance.
After what we had. No, I don't think you can.
And that D line is going to go up against our O line, and that O line, as we said, didn't play as badly as we expected. But that D line for Washington is
they played well. They only gave up 2 sacks.
Absolute monster.
Yeah.
It is one of the top 3 D lines, if not the top D line in the league. It's that good. I actually didn't think Tyler Heineke again, this was the highlights. I've only seen the highlights of this one. I don't think that was a bad performance at all by him. He's going to start on Thursday, you'd have thought.
Oh, he's starting on Thursday.
They think highly of him. He did well in the playoff game last year. So I don't think just because Fitzpatrick is missing, it's a foregone conclusion that the Giants will win that game. I think it's a must-win game for both teams, having lost the opener. But it's going to be an interesting one. What I would like to touch on, though, is Fitzpatrick. And I genuinely feel for the guy now. This is probably the first time in a long time, if not ever, he has been genuinely the number one. They trust him enough, and you have to believe them when they say that he's going all 17 games for us this season. That's the plan, and he gets that injury. I think that is him done. I feel for him because this must be one of the best sides he's ever had.
Well,
it's tragic, but not in the way we expect it to be. And you've got to feel for the chap.
He actually had opportunities. He had the opportunity in Buffalo. He had the big season in Buffalo where he got the huge contract. And didn't live up to expectations. He had the season with the Jets where he was the man no matter what and played well at times. But I think, to your point, I think this is the team that he had the most talent with.
Yeah, exactly my point. Yeah,
I mean, I think that's. But and like I said, as a Giant fan, I'm not going to sit there and pontificate. That we're glad that he's hurt.
No, 100% not.
But I am going to say this: I'm glad that he's hurt. Wait, when did that come out the wrong way? I rephrased that, guys. I am so sorry. I should never have said that. I really meant to say I'm glad that he's hurt. Oh, damn it. I'm not going to lie.
Do you want me to give it a go for you?
As long as it's not career ending.
What he meant to say was, I'm the nice guy who's, it's a shame, it's a good news for the Giants he's missing the game. What Tim meant to say was he's glad he's hurt.
Yes. That about sums it up.
Because one of us is nice and one of us isn't.
Which one is nice?
I mean, I'm yet to meet either of us.
I was going to say, I don't know. And like I said, in all fairness, and I should not wish that on anyone, and I do apologize, and I will say
I know. Exactly.
I will say it, and I'm just joking, and I will say it again. I'm glad that he's hurt.
Do you think Cam Newton comes in there now?
I was about to say that, but I got to say one thing. I must be the mean guy because I did a podcast a long time ago, and Kerry Collins, the former Giants quarterback, he used to be an alcoholic. And then he had a really bad time with alcoholism and everything else. And then he came to the Giants. He cleaned himself up and he was sober. And on one of the podcasts, I said I can't respect Kerry Collins because he was an alcoholic and he quit, and nobody likes a quitter. So yeah, that went over like a lead balloon. But
to be fair, it's a tongue-in-cheek joke.
It's a tongue-in-cheek. Some people just didn't take it that way. Let's put it that way. And I was going to say before, Ron Rivera's already said no to Cam. Now that doesn't mean anything.
How Tyler Heineke goes for the next few weeks.
Yeah, I was going to say let's see how he goes for like. Let's see how he goes for like a quarter and a half, because Ron may be calling Cam up on the phone saying, "Hey, listen, can you make it to the stadium before the start of the fourth quarter?"
Yeah, I mean, look, Tyler Heineke, I think, has done all right for Washington so far when he's playing. But there's a difference between coming in and playing a quarter, playing a game here and there, and leading that team for the rest of the season. Let's see how he goes.
Right.
But it wouldn't shock me. I asked you the question a few weeks ago, and I said I had about 5 or 6 teams on my list, but the one I kept coming back to was the one you picked straight off the bat. It's Washington. It's a system fit. It's former head coach.
Yep.
It just all seems to think. And it was the one place where you thought there's a real genuine quarterback vacancy there.
I'm going to put you on the spot this is the last game we're going to cover here, because I like to keep it under 45 minutes, and that's what she said.
That's what she said.
And that game is going to be the Pittsburgh Steelers 23-16. Dom again is down on the Pittsburgh Steelers. He doesn't know how they keep winning divisions. Going against a good Buffalo team
for years. That's how they keep winning divisions, and they've been a good side. They are no longer a good side. They will be somewhere around 500.
Go to Buffalo. They won the division last year. They go to Buffalo, but Buffalo's got playoff, and not only playoff but Super Bowl aspirations, and they whoop them 23-16 with 17 unanswered points in the fourth quarter.
A very impressive fourth-quarter display. That defense is still good, and that's why I think they'll be somewhere around the 500 mark. They won't win the division, and this could really come back to bite me. I think they played really, really well, put Allen under pressure, and Allen had a bad day. I thought what I will say for the Bills, I thought their edge rush was better than I expected it to be this early on, by the way. But the Steelers played a really good game, but we saw this last year. I think they will start well. I think they have a good head coach. Ben Roethlisberger is not going to take this team to the division this year. I don't see it. He didn't get that many pass per attempt yards. It's early in the season. We all know he fails and fades. The potential silver lining for them and the potential way that this proves it wrong is if they can develop a running game, but they didn't overly develop that in this game either.
Well, they got the Bills what's his
bad
name?
Day. I think it was a week 1 win, and if this was a week 3 game, they'd have lost that game.
They got what's his name? Najee Harris, the rookie. So
and he has the potential to be.
I think he's got the potential to be a bell cow. I think he's going to be. I think he's going to be a good player. I'm telling you this. I was impressed by this win. I watched the fourth quarter on this one. If you know what, I'm gonna tell you this, and I've said this all the time about Mike Tomlin. Never count him out. Never count his teams out.
Coach.
He is gonna find a way to have the Steelers take this division again. I'm telling you right now.
We will see. We'll see in week 17. Week 18 because of course of the bye. But for me, you're exactly right, Mike Tomlin. He's a really good coach. But for me, this was a really impressive win. You're absolutely spot on. But for me, it was a week 1 win. And it's not a win that they would have picked up in week 3 or 4. I really believe that. I think they caught the Bills cold, and fair play, they played well. But
I'm going to go.
I don't see it over 17 games.
I'm going to go out on a limb here. If this is week 3 or 4, and Harris gets rolling into the offense and they figure it out, I think they beat the Bills by 17. That's what I'm saying.
It was actually, sorry, you actually genuinely cut out, and I'm not even.
I think that if this was,
think they're going to beat them by 17.
I think that if this was a week 4 game and Najee Harris starts playing well, I think the Steelers would have won this game by 17 points because they had missed opportunities throughout the game. The score is a little bit more. It's not as indicative of what the game was because it was really a defensive battle. But I think they would have won this game. I think they would have won this game handily, the Steelers, if they had a running game that they trusted and not allowed Big Ben to throw 32 times.
Yeah, I think their running game will improve, and that will improve the team. But I think the Bills would have been better than they were yesterday. I'm not concerned about the Bills at all after the defeat, even though that's not a great defeat to have to start you off. No, I don't see it. I just don't see the Steelers over 17 games, and I think the Bills will still be fine.
Well, I'm not saying the Bills aren't going to be fine. I'm just telling. I think the Steelers still would have beat them. I still think they would have kicked their. I think they would have.
We're never going to know now, but yeah, it'll be interesting. Let's see where the Steelers are. It'll be a real fun one to come back to.
I think they would have to all our friends across the pond. I think they would have kicked them in the knickers. It's like I don't know. Try to throw that.
Actually, it's an interesting one. I keep hearing that you guys keep thinking that we think crap is really offensive. By the way, it really isn't that offensive a term. I don't know but I've heard that a lot.
What is offensive?
Crap.
No, I don't think crap's offensive.
No, but apparently a load of Americans seem to think that we in Britain think crap is offensive. I mean, I watch my European football team every week, and I can tell you that crap is the politest term we can use about them. But
I think what's offensive would be something like mother fudger. I think that would be. That would be offensive. Crap's not offensive. I don't think you think crap's offensive.
No, I know. I've
never thought about that.
No, I was going to say I heard it from about the 5th or 6th different person this week. I was like, where did that come from? That's definitely not like. Either that or I've been living somewhere where,
I laughed, though, because you've been living in the Shire. I laughed, though, because I thought at first you said crack. And I was thinking to myself.
That wouldn't be offensive. I mean, that would be a narcotic. But
yeah, and that's what I was like. I was like, well, maybe they're very liberal in the UK that there's crack everywhere. That's why I was like, well, that's why I asked you. What'd you say?
We ignore Dexter
Lawrence. Yeah, we got a Dexter Lawrence sighting.
It's late. We ignored Lawrence Taylor's advice over here.
And it is late.
Draft, baby. Yeah.
You knew we weren't going to go away without having that. The good news is for Dom, and in all seriousness, Dom basically sent me 2 more sound bites I haven't downloaded yet. So I could actually play them though because my phone's hooked up. We're going to give you the final thoughts, Dom. What's your?
I can't remember what. I remember sending you 2 messages, but I can't remember what I said.
Or you just wait. you just wait and see what happens. All right, Dom, it's getting late. We're going to wrap it up here. What are your final thoughts?
My first final thought is there is no way the Steelers take that division over the Browns after their Browns ran the Chiefs close, by the way.
This is why you're wrong.
Draft, baby. Yeah.
That's all we're going to say. What are your final thoughts, Dom? Final thoughts.
I'm going to actually quickly stay in that division. And I do have a question for you before the end. So give me a shout because I've got an interesting question for you. A rather obvious one, but an interesting one nonetheless. The Ravens, how much do you think these injuries are going to now impact them this season? Because they have come in the running back room, but I wonder whether the Ravens are going to be a team now that, and I might have said this before, I can't remember, but that are going to try and transition the way they play this year. And maybe they don't miss the running backs quite so much, but to lose 2 is going to have an impact on any team still, despite what I've just said. I don't know what your
they signed Latavius Murray, who's a good running back.
Yeah,
they got a couple of guys, and you have the ultimate runner in Lamar Jackson.
Yeah,
I mean, I would do a Shermer. I would go Jackson off tackle left, Jackson off tackle right,
and they got a good O-line.
Jackson play action. Yeah,
but,
I mean, I don't think they're gonna have a problem. They're one of those teams. Like the Broncos in the early 2000s that had all these different running backs that would rush for 1,000 yards because it was the system. It wasn't the running back. It was the system. I mean, they had like 6 guys. Maybe not 6. In like 6 years, 6 different guys each rush for 1,000 yards. After, so I think it's a system thing there. So I'm not even worried about them at all.
No, I mean, and I've heard a lot from various different people saying, "Oh, that's it, that's them done now." To lose your first 2 running backs, like they're not. That's not where the offense is going to run through. It's going to run through Lamar,
right? And that's it. I mean, yeah, that's.
If they lose Lamar, they are done.
Yeah. Well, if they lose Lamar,
that's true of most teams. When you lose,
well, if the Giants lose Daniel Jones, they might actually be better.
Yeah, I'm warming up my arm for.
Well, first you got to stay off the crack, because evidently it's prevalent in the UK.
Yeah, they just start listening to Lawrence Taylor. But yeah, I mean, I found that baffling, and I was like, am I missing something here? Because I don't see that. I still think they're coming second in the division to the Browns, with the Steelers third. But
because of Dom, in that prediction,
gentlemen, what brings me to my next point: don't smoke crack.
There's the PSA from Dom for today. So what's your question? Or was that your question?
No, that wasn't my question. That was just an interesting one where I'd heard that all week, and I was like, I don't see that, but let's see what you think on that one. So it's week 1. Now, okay. My view on week 1 is it's week 1. You're going to get some freak results, and you are going to see some things that aren't going to happen later on. And I've said it a couple of times tonight, to revisit the Steelers by mistake. That's where. But 1 week in, who has anybody after 1 week? Has it changed your view or opinions on anyone, either because they are going to be better than you thought they were, or they're going to be worse than they thought you were? And who's most impressed you coming out of week 1?
I'm going to tell you this right now, and it's not because I'm a Giant fan, but and honestly, I pontificated for months about how bad I thought the Giants were going to be, and how certain things in certain situations were not being addressed as a team. But I felt that they would not look this bad. I initially picked them to lose, then I changed my thing saying they were going to win. I thought it was going to be a close game. You think that you preach discipline and all this crap, and then your team is so undisciplined, and your head coach is so undisciplined that you lose. You throw up. I have seen some bad Giant games. This was a stinker. And I lived through the 70s where they really had stinkers. And this team, to me, it shocked me how poorly they played. Like I said, I initially thought they were going to lose, but I thought it was going to be a close game. But I didn't think it was going to go like that. And the team that really impressed me is Dom's favorite team, is the Arizona Cardinals. They impressed me on both sides of the ball. And I know you don't like them, but I'm telling you right now, I've seen this for I don't know how many years. I've been watching since '76. There's a feel to this team. There used to be the old soundbite. There's a gleam from Marty Schottenheimer. There's a gleam. There's a gleam, gentlemen. There's a gleam on this team. And I know you don't think ownership's down on board, but from what I'm seeing and some of the things I've read, I don't foresee an issue. And there's just something about Kyler Murray. You put in DeAndre Hopkins, AJ Green, what's his name? The other kid, the second rounder, Rondell Moore. You have that defense.
I can't remember which Moore it was because there were two. I can never remember.
There's too many Moores. Well, the other Moore is hurt. The one in Baltimore, he's on the pup. But there's just something about this team. And I'm not a Cliff Kingsbury fan, but I just see them running away with the division. I don't know if what they're gonna do in the playoffs, but they were more impressive, and I watched the whole game. They were more impressive than I thought they would have been coming out of the gate.
I like I said, I thought their offense in that game was exactly what I thought they would be against the Titans in particular. But the defense was the one that I was like, that is good. I want to see more of it. I'm still not convinced, as I say, but it is one where it's a bit of a hot take, and that could really come back to bite me.
I'm telling you, man,
still where I am on them.
Isaiah Simmons is turning the corner.
That defense impressed.
Isaiah Simmons, after a bad rookie start to he had a bad start to a rookie year, came on and played well at the end. Played extreme. He's not getting enough credit for all that he does on that defense. We all knew he was going to be a jack of all trades, playing safety, playing linebacker, rushing the passer, intercepting, but he really impressed me yesterday.
And that was, I think, part of his problem when he first came through last year was that he was a jack of all trades. And they weren't quite.
Nobody knew what he was doing with him. Should be a linebacker. He should be a blitzing coverage linebacker.
Agree. I think you're exactly right. But we will see. Like I say, I think they did impress me. They are worrying me slightly with that prediction, but I'm still where I am on them. But that defensive was the one that, like I say, that impressed me.
Yeah, like I said, it was an impressive game. And on that, how wonderful I am. We're going to wrap it up here from NFL Talk from across the pond. Back. Of course, this is Tim and Dom bringing you all the best action from week 1. We got week 2 coming up. It'll be fun. It'll be exciting. The NFL football season is here, and we welcome you to it. Good night, everyone, or good day.